Hello, I'm back. I got new glasses. I actually got 2 pairs of new glasses, and I cut my hair. This is the first pair of new glasses. This is the second pair of new glasses. They're green. This video is a book review. It's about not this book, but I just got this book in the mail and I'm really excited to read it, so I wanted to brag about it because it's signed. And I'm getting Beth's new book in the mail soon. Not the point. Today, we're reviewing this book. This is An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. I listened to about 75% of it in audiobook form, and then I had to check out the library book to read the rest of it. I lost the audiobook, so I was checking out the audiobook from the library. All library, all around. The audiobook is super fun because they've got cool British accents, and since it's a dual perspective book, it switches voice actors between the perspectives, which is super fun. So this is the first book in a fantasy series that Britt and I have been hearing about for years and should have read long before now. I'm actually in the middle of the second one at the moment, which is, I think, in the bedroom. There are 3 out now, and the 4th one is coming out next year. I think the 3rd one came out recently, so I don't actually know when the 4th one is coming out. Anyway, they're super good. I made some notes in my journal, which is almost full. So, general start out. I loved this book. Don't worry, I'll warn you when we enter spoiler territory with my reviews. Just to warn anybody who hasn't read it yet, it is a relatively violent book. Lots of murdering and battles. There are also mentions of rape, but nothing actually happens in the book. Overall, the plot was phenomenal. I loved it so much. It was really well paced and it had a very satisfying ending. There's just so much setup for the series, but it still had a very satisfying first book ending. You know, there's been a bit of a trend recently of like, oh, this is a series, we'll just end on a cliffhanger, but not so. I loved all of the characters. Their character development was really well paced. Our 2 main characters, Laia and Elias, are phenomenal. I love them. I also really love Helene. She's my child and I want to protect her with all of my heart. I also really loved how both Laia and Elias have like a mission that they're focused on, and they stay focused. Both of them have something that they want that's driving them, and they don't, like, you know, suddenly be like, oh no, romance, I guess I'll just forgo my mission. I really like Sabaa Tahir's writing style. The world building, first of all, phenomenal. Second of all, the way that the world was released to you, like you found out more bits and pieces about it as you went along in a way that really made sense. I really appreciated that the fantasy names of everything, the people, the places, were nice and short and often made up of words that I already knew, which made them much easier to read and understand. It also helped that I started out with the audiobook, so it, you know, told me how to pronounce everything. But then when I started reading the physical book, I was like, I got a little, it just took a minute to figure out how everything was spelled. Both Laia and Elias have really distinct points of view, and I think that can be really hard to do with split perspectives, and I think Sabaa Tahir did a great job with that. All right, we have reached the spoiler point of the view. Britton, please go read this book and then come back because it's awesome and I think you will super duper love it. Everybody who has already read this book, please keep watching because I've got some stuff that I want to complain about. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Mostly it was fire. But there's just a little bit that irked me. But Britton, I will see you next week, hopefully. Posting a video. You are, and maybe me again. Bye to the Brittons. Everybody else, stick around. Let me review my notes. The love triangle. This isn't like super spoilery, but I'm not a big fan of love triangles. I'm not mad about it. I'm a little like, this is kind of played out. But I really like the way that Sabaa Tahir wrote it. Like, it wasn't Laia suddenly being like, oh no, I must decide between these 2 boys. She was just like, ah shit, Keenan likes me and I kissed him and he's like super cute. And I kind of like him too, but like, I think I like Elias more. But also, that wasn't like a big issue. It was just, I have to find my brother, which was great. I really liked that. I also don't really love like just the fact that Keenan likes Laya? I don't know. Like, I get it, but also I don't get it. Also, I don't want Keenan and Izzy to get together in the end. Because I see the starting of that maybe happening. I don't want that. On the other hand, the fact that Helene likes a lot, like that Helene is in love with Elias, I hate. I want to protect her and I want her to be happy. I also was really hoping that she was a lesbian, which she still could be. Fingers crossed for the rest of the series, but I really didn't like that. Like, I mean, it was well written. I understand why Sabaa Tahir made that choice and everything, but I would have liked it to be different. I think their relationship was dynamic enough without having to add that extra dynamic of Helene's been keeping this secret from you for years and that's why she's super devoted to him, because can't you just be super devoted to him because they're best friends? Because that's why he's super devoted to her. It irked me a little bit. Also, so those of you who have met me in person know that I really dislike the evil twin trope. I also dislike when both twins are evil. Ho 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 ho. And here in this book we have one set of twins, both of whom are terrible people. And then we have one that is worse than the other. And then we have his brother who is like nicer and kind of like tones him down a little bit, which is specifically mentioned later after the worst one kills his brother. I don't remember the worst one's name. Zach and I think it starts with an E. Evil boy, who I hate. I hate him, but I'm just so frustrated. Ugh, I just want normal twins. Normal twins, that's all I want. Anyway. Also, my final point of things that I did not like, no gays. Not a single mention of LGBT people at all, which like is terrible. And I hate it. It might be mentioned in later books, I don't know. I'm still holding out hope for Helene being super gay. That would be amazing and just phenomenal, and there's lots more books to come, and she has a lot of character growth. And I hope she doesn't die. That's all my thoughts. That's all my thoughts about this book. I loved it and it was great, but there's just little bits that irked me and it's just so well written. Oh man, guys. I love it. I'm gonna go. Peace. Also, Britain, the future Britain who's actually read this book, call me. We gotta talk about this. All right. Peace. This is my co-conspirator. Sadie was afraid of the tripod, but he is not.